The Chakrata cat. The Chakrata is a small hill station roughly between Shimla and Mussoorie. During my youth, before the road became motorable, I would trek from one hill station to the other, sometimes alone, sometimes in company. It would take me about 5 days to cover the distance. I was a leisurely walker. You couldn't enjoy a hike if you felt you had to catch a train at the end of it. At Chakrata, there was an old forest rest house where I would sometimes spend the night. Don't go looking for it now. It has fallen into disuse and been replaced by a new building closer to the town. Towards sunset, late that summer, I trudged up to the rest house and called out for the chokidar. I forgot his name. He was a grizzled old man, uncommunicative. If you told him you had just been chased by a bear, he would simply nod and say, "You'd better rest then. You must be tired." Nothing about the beer. Anyway, he opened up one of the bedrooms for me, prepared a modest meal, which enjoyed having eaten little all day, and offered to make a fire in the old fireplace. Chakrata can be cold even in September, and I offered to pay for the firewood if he would fetch some. He switched on the bedroom and veranda lights and then walked to the rear of the building to fetch some wood. That was when I saw the cat. It was a large black cat and it was sitting before the fireplace, almost as though expecting a fire to be lit. I hadn't noticed it entering the room and it didn't pay much attention to me, just kept staring into the fireplace. Then, when it heard the chokidar returning, it got up and left the room. You have a cat?" I asked, trying to make a conversation while he lit the fire. He stood his head. "Cats come for rats," he said, which left me no wiser, and he took off, promising to bring me a cup of tea early next morning. There was a small bookshelf in the corner of the room, and I found an old favorite, A Warning to the Curious by M.R. James. His haunting stories of ghosts in old colleges kept me awake for a couple of hours. Then I put out the light and got into the bed. I had quite forgotten about the cat. Now I heard a soft purring as the cat jumped onto the bed and curled up near my feet. I am not particularly fond of cats, and my first impulse was to kick it off the bed. Then I thought, well, it is probably used to sleeping in the room, especially with the fire lit. I will let it be, as long as it doesn't start chasing rats in the middle in the night. And all it did was come a little closer to me, advancing from my feet to my knees and purring loudly, as though quite satisfied with the situation. I fell asleep and slept soundly. In fact, I must have slept for a couple of hours before I woke to a feeling of wetness under my armpit. My vest was wet and something was sucking away at my flesh. It was with a feeling of horror that I realized that the cat had crawled into the bed with me, that was now stretched out beside me, and it was licking away at my armpit with a certain amount of relish. For the purring was louder than ever. I sat up in the bed, flung the cat from me, and made a dash for the light switch. As the light came on, I saw the cat standing at the foot of the bed, tail erect and hair on end. It was very angry, and then, for the space of 5 seconds at the most, its appearance changed, and its head was that of a human. A woman, black browed with flaring nostrils and large crooked ears, her lips full and drenched with blood. My blood! The moment passed and it was a cat's head once again. She let out a howl, sprang from the bed, and disappeared through the bathroom door. My shirt and vest were soaked with blood. For over an hour, the cat had been licking and sucking at my fragile skin, wearing it away until the blood oozed out. Cat or vampire or witches, revenant, or a combination of all three. I went to the bathroom. The cat had taken up through an open window. I closed the window, bathed my wound, examined myself in the mirror. I had not been bitten. There were no teeth marks, no scratches. The tongue and the constant licking had done the damage. I found some cotton wool in my haversacks and used it to stop the trickle of blood from my armpit. Then I changed my vest and shirt and sat down on an easy chair to wait for the dawn. It was 3 in the morning. I felt weak and fell asleep in my chair, to be wakened by the chowkidar knocking on my door with a cup of tea. Chakrata is a lovely place, prettier than most hill stations, but I had no desire to linger there. There was a bus to Dehradun at 8 o'clock. I decided to cut short my trek and take the bus. "Where is the cat of yours?" I asked the chowkidar before I left. He knew nothing about a cat, did not care for cats. They were unlucky, the companions of evil spirits, creatures of the world of the dead. I didn't stop to argue, but thanked him for his hospitality and took my leave. The wound, if you can tell it that, took some time to heal. The skin beneath my armpit was all crinkly for a few weeks, but the body heals itself if given a chance to do so. But what remains on my skin is a bright red mark, the size and the shape of a cat's tongue. It's been there for all these years and won't go away. I will show it to you the next time you come to see me.